Hello everyone. Today, we're starting the story of a transmigrator named Chen Feng, who has appeared from another realm into a world where tamers are common. Unfortunately, his spirit power is low and he barely manages to get a pet, a cute little turtle. Honestly, if it weren't for the help of a member of the Apocalypse Corps, he might have ended up with nothing. To make matters worse, the pet he received is at the lowest tier, an ornamental grade with just one skill, defense. It's like getting a starter Pokemon that's all shield and no attack. Luckily, after contracting with the beast, an awaited system appears, giving him abilities to negate some damage based on the amount he sustains. With this system and his cute little turtle by his side, Chen Feng embarks on a journey to become the greatest tamer ever. It's like having a cheat code for leveling up with a turtle sidekick that's ready to tackle the adventure. But before we delve any deeper, please leave a like as today's goal is 1,500 likes to hit the subscribe button for more videos. So let's start the story without any delay. Somewhere within the Eastern Alliance stands a magnificent structure, the prestigious Polestar Academy. Inside, students of various dispositions immerse themselves in their day-to-day activities. Some are lost in their own worlds, waiting for the next big thing, while others buzz with excitement and speculation like bees in a hive gossiping about the latest flower trends. Meanwhile, in a classroom, our Giga Chad, Chen Feng, sits alone with his book open, looking a bit bored. His interest peaks when he overhears a blonde boy talking to another student, eagerly sharing the news that the executor of the contract today is a member of the infamous Apocalypse Court from the Eastern Alliance. It's as if the school gossip mill has just churned out its juiciest headline yet. The boy listening slaps the table, asking if the blonde boy is dreaming, emphasizing that Apocalypse Court members visiting Polestar Academy is a big deal for the entire Eastern Alliance. The blonde boy insists the information is reliable, mentioning he overheard it outside the principal's office yesterday. He adds that Chen Feng was there too, then moves towards Chen, prompting him to say something, asking what he's up to. Chen Feng, still playing it cool, looks up as if the whole thing is just another Tuesday for him. Chen replies with a hint of tedium, confirming that not only had he heard the news, but he had seen it with his own eyes. He details the encounter, describing a senior member of the Apocalypse Court, complete with black socks that somehow added an extra layer of menace. It's as if even their footwear is designed to intimidate. Moments later, a woman with a striking mix of blonde and red hair, flanked by two guards, strides confidently into Polestar Academy. Adorned with the emblem of the Apocalypse Court, she exudes authority and commands attention wherever she goes. The boys peer at her from the window in disbelief, but the reality of her presence quickly sinks in. Their excitement reaches fever pitch as they enthusiastically welcome her arrival, like fans greeting their favorite celebrity at a concert. Meanwhile, Chen maintains a bored expression as he contemplates. He recognizes the Eastern Alliance as the most enigmatic and authoritative faction within the kingdom of beast tamers. However, he puzzles over why they sent members to Polestar Academy for the contract ceremony. With a skeptical gaze, he wonders if there's a hidden agenda behind their presence. Yet, he decides to brush off the thought for now, like swatting away a persistent fly during a picnic. He isn't particularly worried because he has been traveling here for over a year without any remarkable abilities, talents, or even a system awakening. If the Apocalypse Court is indeed there to recruit, he understands that such an opportunity isn't meant for him. Thus, he remains unperturbed by their presence, shrugging it off like a rain shower on a well-waxed umbrella. Even so, Chen Feng isn't particularly worried. Beyond the city lies the Imperial Wall, a formidable barrier that has protected against external enemies and monsters for over 300 years. While he acknowledges the Eastern Alliance's formidable strength, he believes that if the Apocalypse Court is there to recruit, it's an opportunity that doesn't concern him. As a survivor, he sees his best course of action as forming a contract with a pet beast, like gearing up for a Pokemon battle in the midst of all the drama. In this world, one's rank and spirit power determines the conditions for contracting high-level beasts. Reflecting on his own meager status, barely at level D, Chen Feng concludes that endeavors like changing the world, becoming a king, or composing legendary epics are best left to others. Content with his modest role, he decides to lie down and enjoy a life of retirement, acknowledging that he lacks the makings of a true protagonist, more like an extra in the grand saga of life. Just then, a man in a sleek black suit, the bird perched regally on his shoulder, bursts into Chen's classroom. The bird, acting as a messenger, urgently relays instructions for everyone to gather on the sports field without delay. In a matter of moments, the students flood the schoolyard. Countless pet beasts stand tall, each accompanied by an armed soldier, creating a scene that feels like a chaotic mix of a zoo and a military parade. Leading the assembly is the lady they had seen earlier, now overseeing the day of the contract with a commanding presence. The eggs of the pet beasts, each displaying diverse sizes and colors, are laid out meticulously, awaiting their future owners. It's evident that those who successfully contract with these creatures will secure a coveted place within the ranks of the Apocalypse Court, like winning a VIP pass to the coolest club in town. Ken considers that with his current spirit rating, he might have a shot at contracting with a fierce beast, maybe even the ferocious one. He wonders which creature will become his little companion. Just as he's lost in thought, a flaming phoenix unexpectedly manifests behind the woman he's been observing intently. The phoenix's energy is so intense that it spreads a ripple of awe among the students, like witnessing a surprise fireworks display in broad daylight. One of the students exclaims that it feels like their spirit power has surged, echoed by another student who shares the same sensation. A third boy adds that it seems like a spiritual protection blessing, enhancing their ability to establish a stable connection when contracting with the beasts. The excitement among the students grows palpable as they all feel this incredible surge of energy. One of the girls at the academy remarks admiringly that it is as expected from a senior sister of the Court of Apocalypse to have such formidable abilities. Her words resonate with a mix of respect and awe, like a fan acknowledging a superstar's impressive performance. Just then, the lady from the Apocalypse Court commands everyone's attention. With authority in her voice, she directs each student to release their spirit power one by one, following the cue order. They are to channel this power into the pet beast eggs, establishing a connection through induction and attempting to form a contract. She explains that the strength of each contract will depend on the individual's choices and efforts. With a resounding voice, she declares that the contract ceremony has officially begun, setting the stage for a pivotal moment in the student's journey towards affiliation with the Apocalypse Court. Ken places his hand on his chest, hoping that being the last one in line won't turn into a joke. Meanwhile, the first student, Lai Yang, sits cross-legged on the platform as a blue energy surrounds him. He realizes that he has finally found an egg with a blue hue. From the egg, a bird emerges and soars into the sky, enveloped in a powerful blue energy. Just then, the woman from the Apocalypse Court announces that Lai Yang's contract with the pet beast Falcon is evaluated as a fierce beast. Hearing this, the other students are unable to believe if she is serious. Guess some people are just born with all the luck, or they've got secret bird whispering skills no one knew about. Meanwhile, after bursting from its egg, the creature zooms to its guardian, Lai Yang, like a feathered missile homing in on its target. The contract executive directs Lai Yang to stabilize the spirit connection and record the pertinent details. In the end, after all the students have successfully formed contracts with their pet beasts, Chen remains the only one who hasn't tried yet. Being the last in line, he is called up. Seeing his panel devoid of any information, the woman urges him to be quick, emphasizing that they can't waste any more time. It's like being the last kid picked for a dodgeball team, except with potentially life-altering spirit beasts instead of dodgeballs. Ken sits cross-legged on the platform, trying to reassure everyone that this will be over in a flash. However, minutes pass without any sign of progress. The enforcer, along with the armed guards and their pet beasts, watches closely, anticipation tingling in the air. Finally, Chen breaks the silence, admitting to the woman from the Apocalypse Court that he hasn't felt any suitable pet beasts. His words hang in the air, the weight of expectation contrasting with his empty panel, like waiting for a pizza delivery that never arrives. The enforcer is surprised that there are still people with such weak spirit power. However, she instructs him to go ahead and try to touch a pet beast egg. Hearing this, Chen doubts his ability to make a contract with a pet beast. Just then, something extraordinary happens. All the students gather there watch in amazement as an egg in front of Chen begins to glow brightly. Chen notices the egg, which seems very small and somewhat unusual to him. As he reaches out tentatively, the executioner's phoenix makes a dramatic entrance, giving him a start. Just as he touches the egg, it pulses with an unexpected surge of energy, leaving the students baffled. Some ponder why this tiny egg is causing such a stir, while others speculate wildly that Chen might end up with a pet beast that's the envy of the whole academy. One optimistic soul even jokes that it looks like the egg is ready to blow up with excitement. Meanwhile, Chen observes the egg, now radiating a golden aura, and ponders what might emerge from it. Suddenly, a pair of eyes belonging to a pet beast peeks out, causing Chen's eyes to widen to an improbable degree. It's like watching a surprise guest emerge from a gift box. It's either going to be a delightful surprise or a shocking one. Everyone present is both impressed and expectant. To their astonishment, the pet that emerges is a turtle. The lady from the Apocalypse Court announces that Chen has obtained an ornamental-grade species, the turtle spirit. She directs Chen to stabilize his spirit connection so they can record the basic abilities of his new pet. Chen can hardly believe his luck, while some students can't help but snicker. They remark that he's ended up with a pet purely for decoration, and to make matters worse, it's exceptionally tiny. It's like winning a lottery ticket for a toy car instead of the real deal. The lady from the Apocalypse Court then turns to Chen Feng, asking him about the abilities of his new pet. Chen stares at the tiny turtle in disbelief before reluctantly responding it only has one ability: defense. She replies that for a pet beast to be reasonable, it should have at least two abilities. She questions how useful it could be with only one defense ability. Incredibly, the excitement in the room fizzles out as disappointment settles in. However, to everyone's surprise, a little turtle seems perfectly content, smiling blissfully as if it knows something they don't. It's like being handed a small, unassuming gift that turns out to be exactly what you needed all along, even if it's not what you expected. Meanwhile, Chen looks concerned because an ornamental-grade pet beast like his turtle has very limited strength. Even with a defensive ability, he doubts whether the tiny turtle could withstand even a gentle poke. He wonders why he has a nagging feeling that a chicken trained for 2 years would be more powerful than his current pet. As he mulls over these thoughts, the turtle simply stands there, smiling. Overwhelmed by a sense of misfortune, Chen feels on the verge of tears, deeply disheartened by the situation. It's like expecting a superhero sidekick and ending up with a plush toy. Heartwarming, but not exactly battle-ready. Meanwhile, a group of guys start making fun of Chen and his poor little turtle. One of them tells Chen not to be so pessimistic, pointing out that although the pain is shared between the pet beast and its guardian, his pet's ability is defense if he doesn't need to worry about weakening. He laughs at Chen Feng's misfortune. Another guy, laughing sarcastically, says he can't take it anymore, noting that seeing Chen being so useless is more satisfying than contracting an advanced pet beast himself. Hearing all this, Chen asks if the pain is shared too. The boy confirms that not only the pain but the pleasure is shared as well. He then tells Chen to let him see the little turtle. Chen pats the turtle on the head, wondering that in the future, will it be the turtle protecting him or he would be protecting the turtle. The turtle seems very happy with the affection it receives from Chen. However, Chen gives their situation a title, useless pet beast, and its useless owner. The lady then calls for silence and congratulates everyone on their graduation, which begins that day. She announces that they will enter the Northern Combat Zone for combat training for the Union. On behalf of the Apocalypse Court, she wishes them good luck and hopes they all come back alive. She shouts that anyone wanting to desert before the battle should step forward immediately, leave their pet beast contracts behind, and go home to enjoy a glass of milk. The crowd starts to look at Chen with evil smiles, sensing a potential scapegoat. Ken, deep in thought, remembers that every year after winter, the monsters in the Northern Combat Zone enter a frenzied state for 1 to 2 months, forming a tide of beasts and invading the region. He reflects that with Yamcha-level strength of his pet beast, he might be signing up for a suicide mission. Knowing his luck, though, he briefly wonders if he'll need to start praying. Ken even imagines his tombstone with something dramatic like Young Hero Chen Feng engraved on it. He shudders at the thought, deciding that dying young isn't on his to-do list. As he trembles, he notices the panel indicating that his contract has been completed. Points are added, and the system panel successfully activates, revealing information about his pet beast. The details show that his pet beast is at ornamental level 3 with a skill focused on defense. It has 1 point in attack, 5 in defense, and 2 in agility, with 6 points currently available. Chen can't help but think that if his beast's skills were meant to protect him, he better not need to run too fast or do much attacking. Chen reviews the information on the panel, feeling a mix of doubt and curiosity as he ponders about the 6 available points for his pet beast. He compares it with the details of other students' beasts. One student has a pet beast, a flying frog of the common grade. Another has a pet beast, an ice lizard, also of the common grade. Yet another student has a pet beast, a boxing kangaroo, which boasts the fierce grade. As he continues to check the information of his peers through the system, he glances at the lady from the Apocalypse Court. Her pet beast is revealed to be a fire phoenix of an ferocious grade and at an intimidating level 50. Chen can't help but think that if this was a video game, she'd be the final boss he really hoped to avoid. Chen is struck by the strength of the fire phoenix, realizing he knows little about attributes and abilities. Hope fills his eyes as he looks at his little turtle, reassuring himself that its power could also increase in the future. He understands that boosting the turtle's abilities will take time, but envisions a day when his pet might not just be turtle soup waiting to happen. To increase his pet beast level quickly, Chen acknowledges he'll need to provide it with quality food. Additionally, he recognizes that venturing into the northern area presents a valuable opportunity to enhance his pet beast's attributes. He hopes his turtle doesn't just end up as a slow-moving snack for the monsters. For survival's sake, Chen decides to invest all of his little turtle's attribute points into defense, boosting its defense attribute to 11. Just as he finalizes this decision, a massive bird-like pet beast descends from the sky, its back adorned with several chairs meant for transporting students. The lady instructs everyone aboard what she refers to as a boat, and soon they embark towards the northern combat zone. The giant bird lands near the Imperial Army camp, where a member of the Apocalypse Court directs everyone present to join their ranks. Chen finds the Imperial Defense Army to be exceedingly strict, and the biting cold makes him shiver uncontrollably. Meanwhile, a man steps forward and addresses the soldiers of the Imperial Defense Army. He acknowledges their hard work and expresses gratitude for entrusting the patrolling duties to the students as arranged by the Army. One of the Army representatives nods in agreement, stating that such delegation is only natural given the circumstances. Meanwhile, Chen ponders that their patrol duty isn't just about being potential cannon fodder, it's an opportunity to broaden their horizons, though he hopes those horizons don't include a first-hand view of monster teeth. His thoughts are interrupted when they call for Chen, Lin Xiao, Lin Bai, and Su Nan King, causing a ripple of apprehension among the students. An Army General Whitebeard instructs the four to join Captain Yu Yang's patrol team, indicating he'll be in charge of their group. Some students couldn't resist commenting that Su Nan, the prettiest girl, ended up in the same group as Chen and his little turtle. They wonder aloud what Chen must have done to deserve this, joking that the green-haired turtle seems about as useful as a screen door on a submarine. They mock the turtle's defense skill, questioning what good it could possibly do. He's going to take down the goddess Su Nan. Chen feels the weight of people's judgment pressing down on him. He's been unlucky enough to have a contract with a pet beast that seems weak to the point of being purely ornamental. However, he holds onto the hope that things can change. Chen walks over to where the captain stands. The captain, Yu Yang, standing tall and authoritative, declares that he doesn't care about the personal goals they've brought to the battlefield. He emphasizes that for now, their sole task during patrol is to focus on the mission at hand. Next to the captain stands his pet beast, the red-tailed tufted lion of ferocious grade and level 30, radiating a presence that commands respect and maybe a few nervous glances from Chen and his peers. The captain gestures toward the wall, emphasizing that no monster should cross it under any circumstances, even if it costs them their lives. He warns them that if any of them start an internal fight over personal reasons, especially over women, they shouldn't blame him for throwing them over the wall to feed the monsters. And really, who fights over dates when monsters are on the menu? Chen looks at the captain's pet beast and finds it incredible that it is level 35 ferocious grade. He wonders if the beast lifts weights in its spare time. The captain then tells the students to get acquainted with each other as he plans to take them to the patrol area later. A blonde-haired girl approaches Chen Feng and gives his hand a friendly pat. With a worn expression, she introduces herself as Su Nan and asks him to treat her kindly, noting that they are now a team. Chen, feeling a little uncomfortable, mentions that they would encourage and support each other. The other boys exchange glances, clearly not thrilled with the situation. After giving the students some time to talk things over and develop strategies, a captain leads them to the patrol area. As they walk, he explains that patrolling is a crucial part of guarding the Imperial Army wall. They need to notice any anomalies in the silence and find traces of monsters near the tall wall. Chen can't help but wonder if monster hunting counts as cardio. Chen mentions to the captain that the area outside the Imperial Army zone is very spacious and empty, making it easy to track monster movements. His teammate agrees, thinking it's a good thing. The captain, however, points out that the monsters are very adept at hiding, especially in the continuous blizzards of the northern combat zone where vision is greatly impaired. He asks if they're going to make sure they don't get careless, causing all the students to become super scared by what they hear. Chen starts wondering if they should have brought snow goggles instead of just bravery. The captain continues to stress the importance of remaining vigilant, especially at night. He points out that anyone patrolling the area is daring themselves to spot anything unusual. Suddenly, something catches his attention, and he explains that while the snow quickly covers the monster's footprints, their distinctive smell lingers for a long time. No amount of snow can remove that odor, so they need to be more than cautious. Chen Feng wonders what their captain is looking at over there and suddenly realizes it's a monster, leaving him frightened. The creature is so well hidden that the others have difficulty spotting it. The only one besides Chen Feng to notice it is Su Nan, who immediately points it out. A level 5 snow leopard emerges from the snow, and since its cover has been blown, the snow leopard goes on the offensive. Chen tries to remember if leopards are supposed to be good at hide and seek and hopes this one isn't too good at tag. Meanwhile, Captain Yu Yang remains cool, grading the students and already impressed by Su Nan's alertness. He wants this first encounter to be a learning moment for all the students and to assess their capabilities. He decides to only intervene if necessary, asking which team wants to demonstrate their skills and earn points. Most of the students, however, are too busy freezing up on the spot to respond. Even the top student, Lai Yang, has cold feet, but Su Nan isn't like them. She charges in without hesitation, her beast by her side, as if the monster owed them money. They're ruthless, easily forcing the monster into a defensive stance, prompting her pet to press the offensive. Unfortunately, the snow leopard proves more cunning than expected. It feigns an attack, then swiftly dodges, creating an opening for a direct strike on Su Nyan, catching her off guard with no time to dodge. Meanwhile, Captain Yu Yang remains calm. From his perspective, everything unfolds slowly. He even has time to feel disappointed. It seems he may have overestimated them. These students clearly lack the battle experience and IQ to handle a common beast like this without struggling. Considering intervening to end the test, Captain Yu Yang is surprised when the weakest member of the group, Chen, is the first to react and take action. Making a smart move on short notice, Chen takes advantage of his pet's size by throwing it into the monster's attack path to defend Su Nyan. Even Captain Yu Yang is impressed by this quick thinking, realizing he doesn't need to intervene for now. With that, the turtle successfully blocks the snow leopard's advances completely, saving Su Nyan from further harm. However, the attack from the level 5 beast proves powerful enough to cause Chen Feng significant damage. Despite allocating all his points to defense, he's surprised to feel such pain. It becomes clear they are still lacking in strength. To make matters worse, the attack knocks out his pet, shattering all its defensive buffs. Since they share the pain, Chen Feng feels the full brunt of the attack, knocking him off his feet and leaving him gasping on the ground. Even Captain Yu Yang is taken aback, muttering a surprised "what the?" and retracting his initial impression of Chen Feng. Meanwhile, Su Nyan is immediately angered by what happened to her teammate. She charges forward to attack the snow leopard while it's still recovering from being dazed, delivering a deep cut to its body that forces it to retreat. For Su Nyan, this has become personal. She refuses to let the monster get away and doubles down on her attacks. Despite its injuries, the resilient monster continues to dodge her strikes, frustrating her relentless assault. Thankfully, her other teammates, Lin Xiao and Lin Bai, steps in to help. They utilize their pet skills to complement each other, using the bird's wind skill to enhance the speed of the flower pet's vines, catching up to the leopard and hindering its movement. With the leopard restrained, Su Nyan's pet delivers the killing blow, easily slicing through the beast. The others are surprised by how strong her pet is, as it only took one swing to tear the leopard apart. However, Su Nyan remains humble, giving credit to those who deserve it. She explains that her pet is attack-oriented and emphasizes that she simply did what was expected of her. She acknowledges that she couldn't have achieved this without their help, especially thanking Chen Feng, who sacrificed his pet to save her from her own carelessness. She reflects that taking a full hit for an ornamental pet was a much worse outcome. They were worried about Chen Feng's well-being, especially since Su Nyan felt responsible. She approaches him to help him get up, which he appreciates. However, his body aches with every step, so he asks her to let him rest for a bit. This makes Su Nyan feel bad, and she apologizes, but Chen Feng insists she not blame herself. He explains that what happened was his own decision, and as the only one in their team with a defensive pet, it was his responsibility to protect them. Unexpectedly, a system notification suddenly pops up in Chen Feng's vision. The next thing he knows, he's inside the system's space. This was triggered by the physical damage he had accumulated, which had reached a threshold of 1/100. The systems reveal that upon completing the threshold, he will receive attribute points to increase his physical defense level and become immune to certain levels of attack effects. Intrigued, Chen Feng clicks for more details and discovers that if he completely receives physical damage 100 times, he would become immune to 20% of physical damage. Receiving another 1,000 hits would increase this immunity to 30%, applying to any form of attack. This news excites him, realizing that his little turtle could become nearly invincible without needing to level up. He wonders if this means he can start offering monster-bashing lessons to aspiring adventurers soon. However, Chen Feng realizes that even with a 99% reduction in damage, facing high-level monsters would still be dangerous. He understands the importance of increasing his base defense to avoid being careless. He realizes that just as expected, the system did not disappoint him. It seems to be quite powerful after all. Still lying in Su Nyan's lap, Chen can't help but smile at the prospect of improving his defenses. Su Nyan notices his sudden grin and assumes there's something on her face, so she asks him about it. Instead of directly answering, Chen seizes the opportunity to butter her up, expressing how honored he feels to fight alongside a powerful beastmaster like her. His compliment hits the mark, and Su Nyan blushes red in response. However, she quickly calls him out, refusing to be easily swayed. She points out that his words are just flattery, as she knows she performed poorly. Chen's beat-up state is evidence of that. Despite her self-criticism, the others are jealous of Chen, as it is the first time they have witnessed Su Nyan express her emotions like that. Just then, Captain Yu Yang approaches them with a smile, pleased with their performance. He acknowledges that for newcomers who had recently contracted with their beasts, Their display was exceptional. To kill a snow leopard in such a short time, whether through blocking, entangling, or the final counterattack, their ability to synergize was remarkable. He emphasizes that this is the role of a team. Any one of them alone, even Su Nyan with her ferocious gray pet beast, wouldn't have easily won the battle, let alone killed it within a minute. Chen beams with pride, silently thanking his turtle for its heroic efforts and wondering if they should add Snow Leopard Exterminator to their resumes. Captain Yu Ying continues, emphasizing the importance of learning teamwork, coordination, and cooperation to defeat stronger opponents in the upcoming period. While this sounds daunting to the others, witnessing how Su Nyan disposed of the leopard makes it seem less difficult. However, Captain Yu Ying quickly corrects this notion, emphasizing that it was indeed challenging. He points out that if anyone had made a single mistake during the encounter, the snow leopard wouldn't have been defeated. Suddenly, Captain Yu Ying feels another presence, and this makes him smile because it's another chance to test the students. It's the second challenge given by the wall of the Imperial Army. He encourages the students to enjoy it as much as they can. The students are confused because they have no idea what the captain is talking about. They wonder if the captain hit his head or something. Just like before, the more insightful Su Nyan realizes what the captain implies. She remembers reading that low-level monsters often travel in groups, especially the carnivorous ones. But the snow leopard had charged alone, so it seems like a new monster species might be ahead. Using her keen eyesight, Su Nyan scans the area. Just as she feared, it's a group of wolf monsters ready to attack them in full force. She thinks, great, just what they needed, dinner guests they didn't invite. The group now faces a pack of wolves, putting them on high alert. The snow leopard had been challenging enough, and now they have to deal with numerous wolves. Meanwhile, Captain Yu Ying feels like this is a good time for a drink. After all, he's on teaching duty right now, so he figures it's best to let the students handle those troublesome monsters while he grades them from the sidelines. He plans to enjoy every moment of his free time. After all, it's been a long while since he's had such a break. Nonetheless, as their mentor, Captain Yu Ying reminds them of the importance of unity and cooperation. But before that, they need to develop the heart of a brave warrior who fears no enemy. Of course, this is easier said than done. The students are frozen in fear, unable to move their feet, and to their surprise, the weakest and most injured among them, Chen Feng, is the first to step forward. It's like watching the class clown volunteer for a pop quiz, unexpected, yet oddly impressive. Su Nyan is notably worried, asking Chen Feng to come back since his injury hasn't healed yet. But Chen Feng knows he's the only one with a defensive skill in the group. If not him, who else could step to the front and tank the damage? Feeling responsible, he bravely moves forward. This display of bravery strikes something within Su Nyan, making her eyes sparkle and her cheeks turn red. Even Lin Xiao blushes and praises him, which shocks her brother Lin Bai. It's the first time he's ever heard his sister praise anyone, but she doesn't even notice her brother's gaze or care for that matter. Her eyes are locked on Chen Feng. Inspired by him, she encourages the others to join the fight. After all, she can't have her man fighting alone on the front lines. She thinks if he's going to be the hero, she'll have to be the heroine. Thankfully, her words break through their fear, and they immediately rush in to join Chen Feng, who is tanking all the attacks from the wolves. Even though it hurts, Chen Feng finds excitement in knowing that taking damage means he's improving. Still, being on defense can only go so far, and there are only so many hits he can take. It seems like his limit is about to be reached as his other leg starts to give out. Luckily, thanks to the efforts of his teammates, the number of wolves starts decreasing. Seeing this, Chen Feng feels even more responsible to get up and keep fighting until the monster wave is completely gone. However, Su Nyan thinks otherwise. She believes Chen Feng has already done enough and asks him to leave the rest of them. But Chen Feng is unwilling. He thinks that if he just stands behind them, he won't grow with just a few words. Su Nyan realizes that Chen Feng is battling with himself, and the only thing she can do to help is to support him. So instead of insisting he rest, Su Nyan insists they fight together. This makes Chen Feng smile, as this was exactly what he wanted, being seen as equal among his peers. With this understanding, the fight continues. The students charge with renewed vigor and newfound inspiration, fighting alongside Chen Feng and defending against the wolves. Together, they stand united, ready to face anything. It's like watching a superhero team up, minus the flashy costumes and epic theme music. A few moments later, the fight concludes with the wolves defeated and the students left exhausted. The most beaten up of them all is Chen Feng, who is sitting under a tree trying to recover. Despite the bruises and aches, he feels amazing. Enduring the beating hasn't increased his defense, but he has gained a damage reduction effect. To his surprise, he also acquires a new skill. He immediately checks it out, finding it's named Absolute Counter Barrier. However, before he could read the description, his teammates approached him, concerned for his well-being. It's like getting a surprise gift but not being able to unwrap it until everyone leaves the party. Chen Feng is speechless, not knowing what to say. It's his first time experiencing such genuine concern from others. Before he can respond, Su Nian takes a bottle from her pocket and hands it to him. As a transmigrator and a broke tamer, Chen Feng doesn't know what it is and asks about it. Lin Bai excitedly explains that it's an Act 7 potion, an item so expensive that he jokingly urges Chen Feng to devote his life to Su Nian in exchange for her kind gesture. This prompts Lin Bai to get a swift reprimand from his sister, who isn't amused by his jokes. It's like watching a soap opera unfold in real life, complete with dramatic gestures and family feuds. Now that Chen Feng understands, he gratefully accepts the potion and expresses his appreciation. He really needs it, as he feels he can't walk anymore due to the injuries he has sustained. Just before he can take the potion, Captain Yu Ying approaches with a grin. Delighted to see them all in high spirits, he announces that Su Nian will lead the patrol team from here on out. Captain Yu Ying just handed out a promotion and a big pat on the back without even needing a formal award ceremony. He continues, saying they no longer need to follow him as they have learned bravery and teamwork. The next lesson is to be independent and make their own judgments. To help them, he hands over a map marking a route for them to follow. But just then, a massive roar echoes through the area, so powerful it startles everyone. It's like someone hit the volume knob on a giant speaker, and everyone's trying to figure out if the roar came with a surprise concert or just a really angry beast. Even Captain Yu Yang is caught off guard. Despite his surprise, he remains calm, knowing it's essential to maintain composure as a mentor. With this mindset, he tries to calm the students, telling them not to be nervous and assuring them that the monster they heard was already being handled by another patrol team. However, his words do little to ease their worry. The sounds grow increasingly chaotic, heightening their anxiety. Suddenly, the roar rose closer and closer, and before they know it, the monster is almost upon them, rampaging so fiercely that even the patrol team is running for their lives. It's like the monster just decided to crash the party uninvited, and now everyone's scrambling to find the nearest exit. It's understandable, as one swing from the beast could easily turn them into red paste. Recognizing the monster, Captain Yu Ying tells them that it's a ferocious grade frosty snow ape, and its appearance can only mean one thing: the beast tide is about to begin. Thankfully, reinforcements arrive, trying to fend off the beast as much as they can. However, they don't realize that the frosty ape is already at level 40, allowing it to easily tank every hit. The only one who knows this is Chen Feng, and he's in total shock. Seeing this and the fact that it's an elemental beast makes things even worse. To top it off, they can see countless monsters up ahead, approaching rapidly, adding to their distress. In response, Captain Yu Ying shouts orders for everyone to gather around him and prepare for a retreat. Chen Feng regains his composure and realizes that it is not the time to be thrifty and he has to use the potion now. Without wasting another second, he gulps it down. As soon as he fully consumes it, his injuries suddenly vanish, surprising him with how effective the potion is. It's like he just got a one-up in a video game. And now he's ready to jump back into action with a fresh start, minus the game over screen. Now healed, Chen Feng asks the captain which route they should take to get back. Captain Yu Ying answers that they should take the route through the main gate and move quickly. With that, Captain Yu Ying calls out his pet and initiates the retreat. The students try to keep up, and seems they're fast enough, as Captain Yu Ying can see that no one is getting left behind. As they run, Chen Feng takes the opportunity to check the information on the new skill he recently obtained. It's like trying to read the instructions for a new gadget while sprinting from a giant monster, multitasking at its finest. The skill is called Absolute Counter Barrier, and to his surprise, is actually a damage skill. It allows him to force the target to attack him while returning 50% of the damage to the attacker. Additionally, it provides 70% protection against physical damage. Coupled with his passive skills, it's an incredibly powerful ability. Interestingly, activating it requires him to talk trash, adding a fun twist to it. Not long after, they encounter another pack of monsters, but Captain Yu Ying's red-tailed lion is there to welcome them with open arms. Well, more like open claws. This allows the group to continue moving forward. It's like having a bouncer at the club to handle the unruly crowd, letting everyone else enjoy the party. The group realizes that the sooner they reach the city gate, the better. However, something bugs Su Nian, so she asks why the monsters seem to no longer be hiding their presence. Chen Feng explains, quoting what the captain had mentioned, "There is a powerful monster behind this. The fact that there are already monsters this close to the gate suggests that the situation there might not be good either. This worries them because if that's the case, getting back to the other side of the wall would be much more difficult than they had hoped. It's like realizing the quick detour is actually a detour to more trouble, and they're left wondering if they took a wrong turn on their way to safety. Lin Xiao asks how long it has been since the snow ape appeared. The more meticulous Lin Bai calculates that it's been approximately 20 minutes, which means the real monster tide shouldn't have started yet. However, the chaos they're witnessing suggests otherwise. This realization strikes a blow to the group's morale. But Captain Yu Ying can't let that happen. He quickly encourages them not to worry, assuring them that he won't let any of the beasts get near them and that he still has complete control of the situation. It's like having a coach who insists they're winning the game, even when the scoreboard looks a bit grim. At least he's keeping the team's spirits up with his pep talk. Deep down, Captain Yu Ying knows something abnormal is going on with this monster tide. But he puts his worries aside because his priority is to protect the kids at all costs. Meanwhile, in the overall setting of the tide, under the lead of the snow ape, countless flying insects swarm through the skies while snow leopards and wolves zoom on the ground towards the city gates. 3 different species charging towards the gate is unexpected, and all Chen Feng and his group can only hide as they let the monsters pass by. It's like watching a chaotic parade of creatures, where all they can do is stay out of the way and hope they're not the main attraction. Su Nian then asks Captain Yu Ying what they should do. She knows that even though these are common-grade monsters, it would be challenging for them to handle even one, let alone so many. Captain Yu Ying remains silent, as if he's contemplating the best course of action. Meanwhile, Chen Feng looks at the monsters with his system mindset, viewing them as an XP buffet he could farm as much as he wanted. However, he's not a fool. He knows that with his current level, trying to handle all these monsters at once would mean certain death. It's like spotting a huge pile of treasure but realizing it's guarded by a monstrous snow ape, tempting but definitely not worth the risk. On the other side, Captain Yu Ying remains silent, which concerns the students. In reality, the captain is just doing his best to listen to his surroundings, waiting for the return of his pet beast. When the red maned lion finally reaches the mountaintop, Captain Yu Ying feels confident in dealing with a multitude of beasts. He knows his beast can handle several monsters at once but not indefinitely. That's why they need to move quickly once the attack starts. He instructs them that he will open a way and they all must try to keep up. With the plan explained, Captain Yu Ying and his beast charge through the countless monsters ahead. The students follow close behind, with Chen Feng leading the way. Captain Yu Ying skillfully cuts a path through the chaos, ensuring the group can advance safely toward the city gates. Meanwhile, the red maned lion unleashes an area of effect attack on the side, creating a wide opening for the students. However, the monsters are cunning and quickly adapt to the situation. They avoid Captain Yu Ying and his pet, turning their attention to the kids instead. Fortunately, having already fought common-grade monsters, the students are prepared. They easily dispose of any monsters that get close, each utilizing their pet's skills to the fullest, making every move count and dealing decisive blows. With the students holding their ground, the lion has time to eliminate the other monsters fixated on them. Captain Yu Ying then commands the students not to get caught up in fighting and to continue their advance, as the gate is just a few dozen meters ahead. To their surprise, the frosty ape has caught up and now stands in front of the gates, rampaging and using every skill in its arsenal to break through the wall. It shows no signs of stopping, even if its attacks take out other monsters. Without any warning, General Xu leaps from the wall and charges at the frosty ape, severing its left arm. General Xu is so fierce, even the ape is probably wondering if it should have just stayed in bed today. The ape feels the pain deeply and kneels in agony, but this is only temporary as it reveals its ability to regenerate limbs. While the ape recovers, General Xu seizes the opportunity to join Captain Yu Ying in protecting the students. Captain Yu Ying, surprised, wonders why General Xu has come down personally. However, General Xu tells him to focus on their priority, protecting the kids. After all, heroics can wait, kids first, dramatic speeches later. With that clear, he instructs Yu Ying to provide cover for the students as they move to the corner of the wall. He mentions that he has ordered the people to drop the ropes. Captain Yu Ying quickly understands and assures General Xu that he will handle it. In no time, the students reach the wall and are met with ropes, just as General Xu had promised. Meanwhile, the frosty ape has fully recovered from its injuries and is ready to retaliate. It leaps towards General Xu with all its might, only to be surprised that General Xu isn't planning to fight it alone. He has his own pet with him, which attacks from the ape's blind spot, delivering a powerful sucker punch that sends the ape stumbling back a few steps. Clearly, even apes need to watch their backs, never know when a surprise pet punch is coming their way. Just as the students climb to safety, Chen Feng watches from the side in awe, realizing that General Xu's beast is actually a ferocious level 51 blue-eyed tiger. Judging by their levels, the battle seems to be nearing its conclusion, but even with the odds stacked against it, the frosty ape doesn't back down. It charges at the tiger without fear, but the tiger is more than happy to demonstrate what a level gap truly means. Effortlessly dodging the attack, the tiger goes for a counterattack, making the frosty ape reconsider its life choices. It is now Chen Feng's turn to climb the rope. Sunayan helps him ascend faster, which he greatly appreciates. It seems he is the last one to come up, indicating that every student is now safe. However, they can't let their guard down just yet. Another howl emerges from a different monster, revealing the true culprit behind the chaotic tide. This new monster, exuding a violet aura, has the ability to buff the frosty ape's strength, making it even more menacing. Apparently, the monsters have formed their own cheerleading squad, one that boosts terror instead of team spirit. This development elevates everyone's uneasiness and worries about what this mysterious monster could be. They don't have to wait long, as it soon reveals itself. A ferocious level 42 long-toothed ice wolf. Without hesitation, the saber-tooth charges at the blue-eyed tiger. The tiger, liking the odds, welcomes the new challenger head-on. But to everyone's surprise, this saber-tooth is incredibly cunning. It pulls off the most disrespectful ankle breaker in a split second, just to get closer to the wall, instantly alarming everyone. Who knew an ice wolf could double as a professional basketball player? The tiger follows to thwart the saber-tooth's plans, but the frosty ape intervenes, knocking the tiger off the wall and onto the ground. With this turn of events, the saber-tooth successfully breaches the walls. Even General Xu is surprised by this sudden development, but can't help, as the ape is pressing hard. The saber-tooth rampages freely on top of the walls, its roar alone paralyzing the soldiers of the Imperial Army. It quickly disposes of them on sight, leaving a trail of destruction. This saber-tooth clearly has a flair for dramatic entrances. Who knew walls and soldiers were on today's menu? This sight sends shivers down the students' spines. Yesterday, they were just normal students, and now they are witnessing countless lives being taken before their eyes. It's like going from math homework to monster apocalypse overnight. Definitely not what they signed up for. Despite this, Sunayan tries to be brave, telling Chen Feng that everything will be all right, but her eyes betray her as tears appear. Seeing this, Chen Feng realizes that now is not the time to be a coward. He needs to lock in and protect his friends. If he doesn't, Sunayan and the others will be torn to shreds. With this realization, Chen Feng decides to act as bait to buy the others some time to escape. He activates his new skill, Absolute Defense, and mocks the saber-tooth, taunting the beast in front of him. This completely surprises Sunayan. The saber-tooth, affected by Chen Feng's taunt, attacks him without hesitation, biting onto the barrier with all its might. The force is so powerful that it shatters the barrier within seconds, but due to the skill's effect, 50% of the damage is reflected back, knocking the saber-tooth back as well. His teammates are all in shock. Taking a head-on attack from such a powerful beast is no small feat, and they worry about his condition. They rush to his aid, but Chen Feng has already made up his mind. He knows that 5 seconds won't be enough for them to escape from this monster. He urges them to go and save themselves. Sunayan immediately contests this, but the more rational siblings convince her to do as Chen Feng asked despite her unwillingness. Sunayan knows that staying would only burden Chen Feng and endanger the others, making his sacrifice worthless. With this in mind, she takes a moment to look at Chen Feng before leaving with the others. Now that he sees the others running away, Chen Feng braces himself, hoping that his absolute defense will be enough to block the saber-tooth's attacks and buy time for reinforcements to arrive. However, it seems he will be waiting for a while, as the army is preoccupied dealing with countless flying insects trying to breach the wall. It's a tense standoff, Chen Feng against the saber-tooth, and the wall against the insect invasion. Hopefully, someone packed extra bug spray. A few seconds later, recovering from the stun, the frosty saber-tooth emits a purple glow, buffing itself and enlarging its physical body. With this sudden turn of events, Chen Feng looks at his turtle bro as if apologizing for putting him through this. But there's nothing they can do now as the saber-tooth charges in for the kill. Chen Feng tries to block it again, but the beast's power has doubled, completely shattering his barrier in an instant. Despite receiving 50% of its own damage, the saber-tooth stands strong, its durability seemingly improved. It's like facing a boss in a video game who suddenly activates its ultimate power-up. In contrast, Chen Feng's life is depleting with every strike, the only benefit being that the target is stunned for 5 seconds. Meanwhile, the situation in front of the wall is also changing dramatically. The frosty ape is now getting its butt kicked left and right. With the opening they've made, they detach its arm from its body, but they don't stop there. The tiger uses its special move to beam the ape's heart out of existence. And if that's not enough, General Kaksu goes out to ensure this beast shuts up for good, plunging his spear deep into the ape's body. It's a full-on monster smackdown. Talk about overkill. With the snow ape defeated, the monster wave begins to falter, giving the Imperial Army the upper hand. However, the other boss, the frosty saber-tooth, is still alive and ready to fight. too cunning for its own good as it adapts to Chen Feng's absolute defense skill. It unlocks a new ability, using its ice power to create armor and wrap it around its body. Now fully armored, it stands ready to take on Chen Feng, who is completely tired and barely standing. Nonetheless, Chen Feng activates his absolute defense to meet the beast halfway. Even his pet braces for impact, sensing the gravity of this new challenge. As expected, Chen Feng's barrier shatters and the saber-tooth receives 50% damage. However, with its ice armor, the monster negates some of the damage and the stun duration is drastically shortened. With this setback, the saber-tooth quickly regains its ability to attack Chen Feng. Seeing the saber-tooth closing in, Chen Feng knows it's over. He hasn't even gotten back up yet, but the beast is already poised to devour him. Just when all hope seems lost, a powerful tamer arrives to aid Chen Feng, accompanied by a once formidable beast. The tamer issues a command and the electric-type lion charges up its skill. In an instant, lightning soars through the skies and descends upon the saber-tooth, completely halting its advance and shattering its entire defense. The impact is so intense that cracks of lightning appear in the saber-tooth's eyes, breaking apart its insides. In the next moment, the beast is a charred barbecue. With this decisive intervention, the tide of the battle finally ends. Victory is served, extra crispy. The beast has been cooked. Chen Feng is still in shock at the sight before him. Moments ago, this beast was mighty and relentless, attacking him with ferocity that left him struggling to defend himself. But now it lies lifeless across from him, defeated with a single move. Such a feat can only be accomplished by a true expert. Chen Feng turns towards the source of the attack and sees an old man standing atop the wall with his pet. Curiosity peaks as Chen Feng wonders who this mysterious tamer is. His question is soon answered by the commotion among the soldiers, who are in shock to see General Chunan Tian on the front lines with his Thunder Lion. Chen Feng quickly realizes that this beast is incredibly powerful, already at the Void Crystal rank. Despite the awe-inspiring sight, Chen Feng is too exhausted to care. He can't help but wonder why these powerful individuals always seem to show up at the last minute, as if they were in some kind of movie. He would have appreciated their timely intervention, considering he had nearly lost his life. Even as the system pops up a new notification, Chen Feng ignores it, too drained to pay attention. All he wants is a moment to rest after everything he has been through. Exhaustion and relief wash over him, making it difficult to process anything other than the fact that he has survived. In the meantime, the sun rises, signifying the dawn of a new day. With the deaths of the two fierce beasts, the monsters finally begin to retreat. Victory is on the side of the humans, at least for now. Chunan Tian could attribute much of this success to one unexpected individual, the boy lying on top of the wall. He observes Chen Feng, pondering how this peculiar student managed to survive. Based on Chen Feng's pet, there are two possibilities he considers. Either the turtle is much stronger than it appears, or it unlocked a special ability during the battle. Whichever is true, it's clear that the boy and his pet form a formidable tank capable of withstanding multiple attacks from a beast far stronger than themselves. This impressive feat leaves a lasting impression on General Chunan Tian. Suddenly, Su Nian and the others burst through the door, worried about Chen Feng's condition. Chen Feng tries to sit up to ease their worry, looking like a stiff zombie rising from the grave. His friends can't help themselves and embrace him, relieved to see he's still alive. Comically, this causes him to spit out blood due to his injuries, but they don't notice. They're too busy crying and apologizing for being so powerless and unable to provide much help, looking like a bunch of soggy noodles. Nonetheless, Chen Feng smiles, happy that they care so much about him. He reassures them that he is all right, even though it's clear he's in a beat-up state. Su Nian can't help but tremble, feeling annoyed with herself for letting such a thing happen to him. She looks like she's about to explode with frustration, but she knows it won't help Chen Feng recover, so she sets aside her feelings and is about to call the doctor. Before she can, General Chunan Tian unexpectedly appears, prompting them all to bow in respect. Then Chunan Tian takes something out of his pocket, a potion to help Chen Feng recover from his injuries. Chen Feng feels grateful, but according to Lin Bai, he has to be more thankful than that, as this potion isn't simple. It's the TR Enhancement Potion that has just hit the market, a very rare and expensive item. Lin Bai's remark earns him another scolding from his sister for making such stupid comments. If eye-rolling were an Olympic sport, she'd definitely win gold. In the end, Chen Feng drinks the potion and is amazed by its effects. Lin Bai's reaction hadn't been exaggerated. This potion works faster than the Act 7 potion. Even his pet feels invigorated. With his condition rapidly improving, General Chunan Tian approaches him and asks if he wants to become a frontline warrior in the Northern District. This offer surprises everyone. Even the soldiers can't contain their excitement, looking like kids who just found out they're getting free ice cream. Being personally invited by an official is a significant honor after all. Being invited by General Chu Nantian himself, one of the 12 famous generals of the Eastern Alliance, is even better. The 12 brave generals are the stalwart protectors of the Eastern Alliance, ensuring that monsters never breach the sturdy walls. His personal invitation indicates that Chen Feng is truly exceptional. However, Chen Feng isn't used to being the center of attention, making the situation somewhat awkward for him. Despite this, he knows he can't let his feelings hinder his future. Judging by everyone's reaction, General Chu Nantian is very important. If being awkward was a sport, Chen Feng might just get another invitation to the Awkward Olympics. Chen Feng seriously considers the offer, but living in the military would mean facing monsters every day, and confronting monster waves head-on is a hardship he would rather avoid. After all, his main skill is absolute defense, not monster chasing. Nonetheless, the opportunity is too significant to dismiss without careful thought. After thinking it through, Chen Feng approaches General Chu Nantian and expresses how honored he is to receive the invitation, but respectfully declines for now. Looks like Chen Feng prefers playing defense to becoming the next monster-hunting action hero. Understanding and considerate, General Chu Nantian doesn't press for an explanation. Instead, he leads from the walls back to the battlefield, where he sees his soldiers still struggling to finish off the remaining monsters trying to escape. Swiftly, he helps them by electrocuting everything in sight. It might seem like he's venting frustration over Chen Feng's decision, but in reality, he just wants to wrap things up efficiently. After all, he's a busy man with places to be and monsters to fry. Once the battlefield is under control, General Chu Nantian asks General Hu about the extent of the damage from the current wave. General Hu is pleased to report that they are fortunate this time. Compared to previous waves, the casualty count is relatively low, and he attributes this success to the student named Chen Feng. He states that without Chen Feng, the casualties would have been much worse. General Chu Nantian agrees with this statement, acknowledging Chen Feng as a promising talent. However, he understands that having Chen Feng under his command is impossible for now. Yet you can't always get what you want, even if you're a general. With this, General Hu realizes that Chen Feng must be quite special to attract General Chu Nantian's attention. General Chu Nantian explains that Chen Feng isn't ordinary. He notes that Chen Feng's pet, which seemed pretty ordinary, more like an ornamental beast at best. Despite this, Chen Feng has single-handedly withstood the saber-tooth's attack, which is a remarkable feat. Having Chen Feng would definitely strengthen the fortress and signals the emergence of another rising star in the Eastern Alliance. However, there is a growing concern. The frequency of monster waves is increasing, which means they need to be more vigilant and get all the help they can. It feels like the calm before the storm. Additionally, some elders within the Alliance have been complaining lately about specific forbidden areas, labeling them as problematic. This adds another layer of complexity to their preparations and strategies. The generals know they have to address these concerns, because dealing with monster waves and grumpy elders is no small feat. Meanwhile, Lin Bai asks Chen Feng what was going through his mind when he refused General Chu Nantian's offer. His sister shares the same curiosity, as General Chu Nantian holds a prominent position in the alliance. Even Su Nian questions Chen Feng, noting that her family also holds General Chu Nantian in great respect. Seeing their curiosity, Chen Feng explains his reasons. He declined the offer because his pet is very small and of ornamental grade. He worries that they wouldn't be able to withstand the harsh environment and says he will only return once they are ready. Looks like Chen and his pet are not ready for a monster-themed boot camp just yet. However, his friends believe he's strong enough now and urge him to reconsider the opportunity. Despite their encouragement, Chen Feng has already made up his mind and isn't going to change it. Luckily for him, Captain Yu Ying appears to check on them, asking if they are okay. Everyone sighs, realizing he's a bit late to the party, but Chen Feng is relieved. The topic has changed and the focus has shifted from him, giving him a break from their persistent questions. Lin Bai then jokingly accuses Captain Yu Ying of slacking off, saying he should have been clearing out the monster wave instead of standing around. This prompts his sister to scold him once again for making such jokes. Captain Yu Ying doesn't mind though, he's just glad to see that they are safe. He informs them that General Hu is waiting for them. When they meet up with General Hu, he doesn't offer congratulations. Instead, he shares a harsh truth. Over 300 lives have perished. They fought bravely, but the cost was heavy. Looks like the reality check hit harder than a monster wave. This revelation brings the students back to the harsh reality of the world they live in. Seeing their reactions, General Su concludes that they are not yet ready to face such harsh truths. He orders them to leave for now and return when they have the resolve to face war and its aftermath. As he finishes speaking, a large spirit bird descends right on cue, with their teacher waiting for them on top. The students climb a ladder to board the bird. As they ascend, Chen Feng experiences a moment of realization. When he first arrived, he didn't care about much and just wanted to live as carefree as possible. But now, after making connections with others and witnessing firsthand what he and his little pet beast can achieve, everything has changed. With this newfound perspective, Chen Feng decides to improve as much and as quickly as he can. But before diving into future challenges, he knows he needs a good night's rest to face them at full capacity. After all, even heroes need their beauty sleep. As the next day arrives, Chen Feng and his pet rise from bed in a clumsy manner, still feeling the burden of their last fight. Despite this, he makes sure to get ready. He gets up, grabs any food available in their apartment, and eats it with his pet beast. While eating, Chen Feng looks at his cute little turtle, marveling at how awesome it is despite its small size. He decides it's the perfect time to name it. He names it Kangxi, signifying its importance as his own little turtle bro. It's like giving a superhero sidekick a cool name, except this one is more shell than spandex. The turtle seems to like the name, its eyes sparkling with approval. With that settled, Chen Feng remembers that the system had some notifications. He checks them and sees that his turtle has leveled up to 6, which is impressive considering only 1 day has passed. Now the question is how to continue leveling up. He can't just go back to the northern walls. That would be like hitting the same level on a video game over and over again. Time to find new ways to level up and maybe discover some exciting new quests. Suddenly, an idea comes to mind, and a few moments later, Chen Feng finds himself inside the Alliance City Library, where he's fortunate enough to come across some rare books about spirit turtles. These books expand his knowledge on how to increase his pet's level. However, all the information points to the same conclusion. He needs to face challenges from monsters or pets of the same level or higher. Chen Feng is confident in this information, as defeating higher-level monsters before had helped him and his pet reach level 6 quickly. But this information alone isn't enough. He still needs to find a suitable place to level up his pet. Looks like it's time to search for a training ground that's more monster-heavy than a gym full of dumbbells. Just as his mind is occupied, his little turtle notices something peculiar inside the book Chen Feng is reading. It nudges the book, revealing a flyer of some sorts. Chen Feng is delighted to see it, realizing this flyer points to the perfect place for them to start their journey. It's like finding a treasure map when you're on a quest, except this one is filled with potential for adventure and leveling up. The next day, as rain pours nonstop, Chen Feng arrives at the Alliance City Center. Dressed in his new drip, he tries his best to avoid recognition and protect his little turtle from the cunning pet thieves in the black market. He stays on high alert and remains vigilant, knowing that his achievements in the Northern District have been publicized. It's like trying to keep a celebrity under the radar while dodging paparazzi, except the paparazzi are more interested in stealing your pet. After a few more steps, he arrives at the front of the Alliance Adventurer Association and enters the bustling establishment. This place is packed with people and is renowned for being a gathering spot for formidable hunters. It's not only a place to become stronger, but also a hub for obtaining valuable resources for trainers. It's like walking into a high-stakes game where everyone's leveling up and trading tips. Plus, there's always a chance to score some epic loot. Chen Feng heads straight to the receptionist, who greets him with a smile and introduces herself as Nana. Today, our Giga Chad, Chen Feng, is on a whole other level. He might not have the highest spirit level, but he's maxed out his charisma, making Nana fall for him at first glance, even with his mask on. Joining the association goes smoothly. He presents his ID, and Nana quickly processes his application. But then she gasps as if she's seen a ghost. She's shocked to see that this handsome guy only has a level 6 little turtle as his spirit beast. Everyone who hears this laughs hysterically, unable to believe that someone with such a weak spirit beast would join the association. Chen Feng finds this rude and asks Nana if there's a problem. She clarifies that there's none, just that it's unusual. With that, they proceed with the application process, which requires him to show his pet. Chen Feng places little turtle in front of Nana, who inspects it intently from all angles. After a thorough examination, she concludes that he is qualified and hands him a form with terms and conditions to sign. It's like giving the VIP treatment to a guest who's just brought a very special, if tiny, +1 to the party. Chen Feng signs it without hesitation, since no one really reads those terms and conditions anyway. With his application complete, he's given an identity badge with the code name Frost Shadow. This badge allows him to access their website and check missions on the mission board. The board offers different rewards provided his pet meets the level requirements. This excites the two, and they can officially start their journey to become stronger. They are immediately fired up to grab a new mission as quickly as possible. However, it seems they've caught the attention of a mysterious robed figure who reveals a grin, finding Chen Feng and his pet interesting. Whether this figure is a friend or foe remains a mystery, like meeting a character in a game with an unknown quest line. The next day, Chen Feng waits outside the Alliance Adventurer Association, eagerly anticipating his client for his very first mission. It turns out he's taken an escort mission, which promises both experience points and a hefty sum of money. Coincidentally, the client turns out to be none other than Su Nan. She fails to recognize Chen Feng thanks to his clever disguise. Impressed by his confident demeanor, she assumes he must be exceptionally skilled. Just as things start to settle, a woman draped in green sashays into the scene, her beauty and style turning heads like a celebrity on red carpet. Even Chen Feng, usually unflappable, takes notice. One look at her aura and he quickly deduces she's a powerhouse, likely at the peak of the bronze level. It's like realizing the new kid in class might just be the teacher's pet, and she's not here to play. Su Nan mimics Chen Feng's distracted demeanor and can't help but be curious about it. However, she doesn't have to wonder for long as the woman in green suddenly approaches her, hugging her tightly from behind. The surprise is so complete that Su Nan jumps a little, caught off guard by the unexpected affection. It turns out they know each other. This is the friend Su Nan had been contacting. Her name is Lang Qian. Lang Qian isn't particularly fond of the idea of hiring someone from the association. This prompts Su Nan to explain that she's well aware of her own limitations, so she believes it's better to have more companions than none. Lang Qian reluctantly accepts this reasoning, but as she looks at the association member in front of them, she's far from impressed. In fact, seeing his scrawny build only angers her more. She's got more muscle than this guy. Lang Qian asks Su Nan if she doubts her strength, clearly irked by the implication. Su Nan quickly tries to calm her down, explaining that she didn't mean it that way. She doesn't doubt Lang Qian's abilities. She just wants some assurance for her own safety. Su Nan explains that Lang Qian has a tendency to get wild when dealing with monsters, occasionally leaving their defense vulnerable. Her statement carries weight and silence ensues, indicating that even Lang Qian herself acknowledges her own unreliability. This prompts her to redirect her frustration towards the association member, aggressively demanding his codename. Chen Feng finds this ridiculous, but decides to answer her and move on. He introduces himself as Frost's Shadow, prompting Lang Qian to do the same. With that settled, Su Nan sighs in relief, glad that the two are getting along without much trouble. It's like witnessing a storm pass without any damage, leaving behind a calm and peaceful atmosphere. Chen Feng, Su Nan, and Lang Qian head to the Northwest District to start their mission. Soon, they roll up to the region's checkpoint where they undergo a thorough inspection. It's like going through airport security, except the stakes are higher because no one wants to find surprise monsters in their carry-on luggage. Since Chen Feng is a member of the Adventurer Association, getting permission to pass the gate is easy. With that, they enter the wilderness. The area is hot and sandy, a stark contrast to the northern wall they had previously visited. However, this place is safer, allowing them to walk casually as if they are on vacation. Still, they are on a mission, not a picnic, though the idea of bringing a beach umbrella briefly crosses their minds. Su Nan informs everyone of their destination, the Northwest military camp deep in the forest. She reassures them not to worry, having planned a safe route which they fully understand. With the plan clear, Lang Qian starts making small talk, asking Chen Feng about his skills. However, their conversation is cut short when Chen Feng senses monsters nearby. He quickly informs the group, putting everyone on high alert. They realize this mission might be more of a jungle safari than a walk in the park. The others, unable to sense the monsters like Chen Feng, scramble to find them. Noticing their confusion, Chen Feng helps by pointing out the location of the monsters heading straight toward them. Looking at the ground, they see two large, normal-grade rats leap out of the sand. Lang Qian quickly positions herself between Su Nan and the rats, summoning her pet beast, a boxing kangaroo, from a rare pokeball-like pendant. Because nothing says protection quite like a kangaroo ready to go 12 rounds with some oversized rodents. This pendant allows Lang Qian to store pets and helps them evolve and heal their injuries. It can even save pets from life-threatening situations as a pet's life is closely tied to its owners. Even Chen Feng invades this item in hopes to get one in the future. But now, with the rats closing in, Lang Qian and her pet beast meet them halfway. Her kangaroo attacks the rats ferociously, as if they insulted its favorite boxing gloves, while Lang Qian laughs on the side, boastfully claiming she doesn't even have to use her full strength to deal with them. Afterward, Lang Qian turns to Su Nan, fishing for compliments. Su Nan obliges, hoping it will stop Lang Qian from acting like a child. To her surprise, Lang Qian admits that Chen Feng, the association member, is reliable for noticing the monsters before she did. This slightly improves her impression of him. However, she still insists she is better, arguing that even if she found out later, she could handle herself among a bunch of monsters. With this thought, Lang Qian expresses to Su Nan that hiring the association member was a waste of money, suggesting she should have used it to take her out to eat instead. Su Nan disagrees, explaining that her mission is important, so she needs all the help she can get. Besides, the cost is not a big deal to her. As they talk, Chen Feng suddenly turns in the opposite direction, indicating that he has sensed another monster lurking nearby. Lang Qian immediately gets excited like a kid spotting an ice cream truck on a hot day. Seeing this as her time to flex, Lang Qian quickly rushes ahead to find the source of the sound, acting as if she's alone. Sunayan can't help but facepalm. This is exactly what she had been worried about. Even Chen Feng can only close his eyes in exasperation. Ahead, they stumble upon a group of blood moles. Their bodies are adorned with light yellow spots. These blood moles are low-level social creatures and are known for never traveling alone. It seems like the moles haven't noticed them yet, and in Lang Qian's mind, this is the perfect opportunity to pounce on them like a ninja in a field of unsuspecting turnips. Meanwhile, Sunayan can't help but grit her teeth at Lang Qian's reckless behavior, wondering if she's auditioning for the lead role in Game of Thrones. With not much else she can do, she asks Frost Shadow to stay alert and be on guard to assist if anything happens, promising to double his reward because apparently saving them from Lang Qian's antics is a job and a half. With that settled, they follow Lang Qian. However, it soon becomes clear Lang Qian and her kangaroo don't need much help. Her boxer kangaroo is whacking the blood moles as if it's trying to be a high score. These poor blood moles, who just wanted to enjoy their dinner, decide to run for their lives now that their meal is ruined by these intruders. But Lang Qian isn't planning to let them go. She is determined to finish every single one of them, chasing after them relentlessly. Her teammates struggle to keep up with her, realizing they need to stop her before she enters the forbidden territory. Unfortunately, Lang Qian gets carried away, and soon they can't even see her silhouette. The forest grows denser with each step, not helping their plight. Just as they feared, they realize they are now inside the forbidden territory. The only way to chase after Lang Qian is to follow her tracks, but these become unreliable as they scatter in all directions. Coupled with their unfamiliarity with the forest, navigating becomes increasingly difficult, like trying to find a lost sock in a dryer full of socks. With this, Chen Feng, aka Frost Shadow, suggests they leave the forbidden forest and follow Sunayan's prepared route to the camp while they still can. They haven't ventured too deep into the forest yet, and he reassures Sunayan that she shouldn't worry too much about her friend, explaining that with Lang Qian's strength, she wouldn't have any trouble handling herself. However, it seems Sunayan's mind is too preoccupied with concern for her friend to register his words. Chen Feng moves closer and tries to convince her once more, asking her to trust him. Thankfully, Sunayan finds his words reasonable, but she still wants to exhaust every option before considering giving up. She pulls out her phone and tries to contact Lang Qian, but there's no signal reception. Immediately, she feels devastated, unsure of what to do next. While Sunayan is anxiously fretting over Lang Qian, she is leisurely wiping out entire blood mold dynasties. After single-handedly erasing a whole family tree, she celebrates with the gusto of someone who just won a lifetime supply of bubble wrap. Meanwhile, after a decade of consideration, Sunayan reluctantly accepts there isn't much she can do and decides to heed Frost Shadow's advice. Unfortunately, their extended deliberation catches the eye of an unwelcome guest, a ferocious gray giant snake clearly offended that it wasn't invited to the mole family slaughter party. The snake catches them off guard, but Chen Feng is ready. He swiftly takes out his pet from his Pope pendant and activates its special skill, Absolute Defense. Meeting the snake halfway with its jaws wide open, Chen Feng's pet successfully knocks it back with its passive effects, stunning it for 5 seconds. However, the snake proves to be venomous, and Chen Feng suffers 1% poison damage. Surprisingly, this ordeal grants him a new skill, Poison Resistance, which turns out to be crucial for effectively fighting the monster. Now armed with poison resistance, Chen Feng is ready to handle venomous foes like a pro, all thanks to a bit of unexpected snakebite education. However, Chen Feng realizes he needs to endure poison damage 99 more times to become fully immune to poison. It means it's going to be a prolonged and dangerous fight if they want to beat this monster. While he isn't severely hurt, the venom spreading through his blood means that time isn't on their side. Recognizing the urgency, Chen Feng suggests they run, opting for a tactical retreat over a slow and venomous defeat. Sunayan quickly follows his lead as they flee for their lives. While running, she notices his pet, which looks suspiciously similar to Chen Feng's. It suddenly hits her. Frost Shadow and Chen Feng are the same person. She wonders why he's playing the secret identity game. Maybe he thinks he's a superhero. Whatever his reasons, the most important thing now is to get out of the forest, so she keeps her discovery to herself, figuring there's a time and place for unmasking heroes, and this isn't it. In the meantime, the giant snake uses its skill to mark them without their knowledge. After running for a few miles, Sunayan starts to get out of breath and asks Frost Shadow to slow down for a break. But Chen Feng, not taking any chances, knows the snake could catch up at any moment like a terrifying game of tag where it has fangs. He urges her to keep moving, suggesting they leave the forest as quickly as possible and rest afterward. To help her, Chen Feng suggests she resonate with her pet to reduce her exhaustion and increase their speed. This sounds reasonable, so she follows his advice, calling out to her pet beast to share the burden and get a speed boost. Thanks to this, they continue running without much trouble, almost like they have their own built-in turbo mode. But things don't go according to plan. The serpent is just too cunning. Having calculated their route, it decides to head on first and wait for them near the exit. As soon as they arrive at the forest's edge, the serpent launches a surprise attack, catching Su Nian off guard. Chen Feng, however, is ready. He uses his absolute barrier to block the monster's attack, stunning it again, but also receiving more poison. It's like playing dodgeball with a cheater who always knows where you're going to be. This time, Chen Feng feels the venom spreading through Little Turtle's body, slowing them both down. Unfortunately, they can't even think about attacking the serpent to finish it off because another beast, a monstrous eagle, has just appeared in the sky, eyeing them and preparing to attack. With quick thinking, Chen Feng grabs Su Nian's hand and they dash away as fast as their legs can carry them. With that, they finally emerge from the forest, regaining some signal reception. Su Nian tries to contact Lang Qian, but to her surprise, the enraged serpent is right behind them, ready to swallow her whole. Luckily, Chen Feng reacts swiftly, pulling her out of harm's way. He then absorbs the attack with his absolute defense, stunning the serpent once more. It's like a bad game of tag where the serpent keeps insisting on being it, but Chen Feng is not playing along. But this time, they have no chance to retaliate or flee. The fierce great immortal eagle descends from the sky, aiming to kill Chen Feng. However, with his lightning-fast reflexes, Chen Feng blocks the attack just before it lands, knocking the eagle down. Seizing the moment, Su Nian isn't about to let this opportunity slip away. She calls her Beast Cat, which targets the eagle's weak spots and slices its wing, preventing it from escaping. While Su Nian's cat battles the immortal eagle, she approaches Chen Feng to ask if he was alright. He assures her he's fine, expressing gratitude for her timely warning about the undead eagle, which he hadn't noticed. Their conversation is cut short as the serpent recovers from its stun. Chen Feng activates his absolute defense once more, turning what could be a dire situation into an opportunity. He tries to see the brighter side, viewing it as a chance to build up his poison resistance. However, with each strike, the poison continues to accumulate, making him wonder if he's building up resistance or just collecting a lifetime supply of antidote challenges. Chen Feng can only defend, lacking any offensive skills, while Su Nian's cat is preoccupied with the immortal eagle. The cat, however, sees its name put to the test and takes this as a challenge. Without a moment's delay, it attacks relentlessly like it's late for a very important date. As the eagle tries to heal from its injuries, the cat doubles its speed and power, inflicting damage faster than the eagle can regenerate. Eventually, the cat manages to crack open the beast's skull. Where the monster's brain is completely crushed, the eagle finally learns the hard way that 9 lives are just for cats. Meanwhile, the ferocious snake continues its relentless attack on Chen Feng. By now, Chen Feng has developed a 10% resistance to the poison, but the accumulated poison in his system has increased to 27%, taking a severe toll on both him and his little turtle. He feels like he's on the verge of collapse, thinking he might need to trade in his hero status for a nap and some antivenom. Fortunately, Chen Feng doesn't have to endure much longer. Su Nian and her pet, having defeated the eagle, move on to attack the serpent. Just as they did with the eagle, they immediately proceed to severely handicap the serpent, taking away its ability to see with its other eye. In a surprising twist, the serpent retaliates by spraying venom back at the cat. Chen Feng, however, anticipates this and protects the feral cat just in time. But the pure venom he absorbs causes the poison level in his body to spike, inflicting intense pain. It seems like a rough day for Chen Feng. He's turning into a walking chemistry experiment. The feral cat seizes the opportunity and slashes its claws deep into the serpent, killing it instantly. The large beast's body flops lifelessly to the ground, and the group finally breathes a sigh of relief as the battle ends. Just then, Chen Feng collapses as the venom continues to spread through Little Turtle's blood. He desperately needs to find a way to get rid of it. Fortunately, Su Nian notices their struggle and immediately offers a healing potion to eliminate the poison, which Chen Feng gratefully accepts. It's like getting a life-saving elixir in the nick of time, just another day in the life of a hero. Surprisingly, Chen Feng turns away to drink it, not wanting Su Nian to see his face, thinking she hasn't recognized him. Immediately, the potion's effect starts. They feel excruciating pain as it burns through their insides, eliminating all the toxins in their veins. But after the agony subsides, they feel much better, as if the toxins were never there. It's like a really intense detox, minus the green smoothies and spa music. Su Nian asks Chen Feng if he's tight on money and suggests that he should join the front line, as with his abilities, it shouldn't be difficult to make money. She addresses him by his real name, which completely shocks Chen Feng. He quickly asks how long she's known it was him. Sunayan, with a grin, reveals that she's known for a while and tells him he can finally take off his mask. It seems Chen Feng's secret identity isn't as secret as he thought. Looks like his cover was more leaky faucet than fortress. But Chen Feng doesn't remove his mask. Instead, he answers her question, explaining that he wants to enjoy his freedom a bit longer and will reconsider joining the army in the future. For now, he wants to explore the world and experience life from his unique perspective as a transmigrator. Of course, he keeps that last part to himself after all. Some secrets are best left as mysteries, especially when it comes to explaining why he's so good at dodging responsibility. With his honesty, Sunayan feels a bit closer to him and smiles, noting that Chen Feng has never changed. She acknowledges that the path he's taking isn't easy. It demands courage and determination. Nevertheless, she's grateful that he saved her for the second time. Chen Feng, in a lighthearted moment, jokingly asks if she can give him a 5-star rating once the job is done. Sunayan, taking the joke in stride, agrees and even promises to leave a glowing review. Looks like Chen Feng's heroics are about to earn him some stellar feedback. Sunayan informs him that the skin of the ferocious snake they had slain is a luxury item, and its meat is a valuable medicinal material. She offers him full rights to it. Chen Feng's eyes light up at the thought of how much money he could make by selling these items to the Adventurer Association. With this in mind, he pulls out his magical storage bag and effortlessly stores the giant snake inside. Despite its large size, the bag accommodates the entire snake with ease. Looks like Chen Feng's magic storage has a serious case of more room than it appears. After Chen Feng finishes storing the entire serpent in his magic inventory, they notice something or someone approaching. Assuming it's another monster, they quickly turn around to face it. To their surprise, the massive silhouette with 4 eyes and 4 arms turns out to be Lang Qian and her pet. Acting as if she's just won a major battle, she boasts about being an unparalleled duo for having eliminated all the blood moles with just a wave of her hand. Chen Feng and Sunayan are left speechless, staring at her in disbelief. It seems Lang Qian's sense of grandeur is as big as her shadow. Once Lang Qian finishes goofing off and dismounts her pet, Sunayan informs her that she nearly died because she wandered off alone. This news immediately shocks Lang Qian. She asks what happened, and Sunayan explains the situation. Lang Qian quickly apologizes and promises that from now on, Sunayan's safety will be her top priority. However, Sunayan has heard this promise before and knows that Lang Qian's follow-through is about as reliable as a broken clock. Seeing Sunayan's lost faith, Lang Qian starts crying, begging for forgiveness and pleading with her not to report the incident to Uncle Su Li. On the side, Chen Feng is taken aback by the mention of Su Li but decides to keep his comments to himself, letting the two settle their dispute. Sunayan, looking Lang Qian in the eyes, sets some conditions. She agrees not to tell her father, Su Li, but Lang Qian must follow Frost Shadow's instructions from now on. If she acts on her own again, Sunayan makes it clear that she'll never forgive her. Looks like Lang Qian's future plans now include a very strict set of rules. This makes Lang Qian angry, feeling it's unfair and insulting. She believes she's stronger than Frost Shadow and can't possibly follow his orders. However, Sunayan remains firm, revealing that Frost Shadow was strong enough to protect her. Without him, she could have died. Lang Qian falls silent, realizing Sunayan has no reason to lie and starts to believe her words. Still, she can't quite wrap her head around how such a small turtle could be so powerful. Perhaps it's a case of good things come in small, mysterious packages. Sunayan notices Lang Qian's struggle and simply suggests that sometimes things are just what they are. She mentions that despite its size, the turtle is more reliable than Lang Qian has ever been and even adds that it's quite adorable. Lang Qian's pride takes a hit, but she understands she has no grounds to complain, especially since she's the one who made the mistake. She promises that if they encounter danger in the future, she will prove her reliability in battle, conceding defeat with a grace that's about as rare as finding a needle in a haystack. Sunayan tells Frost Shadow that he's in charge now. Without wasting another moment, Chen Feng commands everyone to continue their journey, and they all agree. As they travel, Chen Feng keeps glancing at Sunayan, still in awe of what he has discovered. He had suspected she came from a noble family, but he never imagined she was Su Li's daughter. Su Li is one of the 12 generals, a legendary figure in the beast-wielding world for over 20 years. With his extraordinary crystal-level pet, the Great Ape, he has made monsters tremble, earning a reputation that's as fearsome as a dragon in a den of mice. This realization explains why earlier General Chu Nantian had come to their rescue personally. With such a powerful father, Chen Feng wonders why Sunayan had ventured out alone. To his surprise, his questions are answered almost immediately when Lang Qian expresses her dismay towards Uncle Su Li. She complains about how strict he is with Sunayan, even allowing her to go to the Northwest military base almost entirely on her own. Even the funds for hiring someone came from her own pocket. While the area they're traversing isn't overly dangerous, it's still somewhat unfriendly. Lang Qian realizes she has no grounds to judge Su Nian's family matters as her own situation is quite similar. Her father had also sent her to this military training camp despite knowing she was overqualified given her abilities. This forced her to leave her home, her games, and even her beloved anime, which she found extremely annoying. Su Nian contests this, pointing out that no one ever told Lang Qian to stay at home all the time. With only 1 year left before the Allied Genius War, the biggest event to test their strength, it's clear why their fathers put them through this training. They undoubtedly have the potential to become even more powerful, and this rigorous preparation is just part of the journey. It seems that while their father's methods might seem harsh, they're just pushing their kids to reach their full potential, proving that greatness often comes with a side of tough love. Lang Qian understands Su Nian's reasoning but points out that there's no real danger in their current area. Without danger, she feels there's no real experience to be gained, making the training seem like a waste of time. Su Nian simply replies that maybe it's just a you problem. To her, this is a valuable opportunity. Her father put her through this military trial to prepare her for the outside world, ensuring that when she eventually joins the army, things will go more smoothly in the future. Chen Feng overhears their conversation and silently admires Su Nian's spirit, as despite her extraordinary background, she chose to attend an ordinary school, face the tide of ferocious beasts, and participate in this trial. These are decisions she made consciously, and this demonstrates her determination and resilience. But just as he's mentally patting her on the back, his train of thought derails spectacularly, courtesy of a sudden notification from the system about the poison. This surprises Chen Feng, as he believes the antidote had already suppressed the venom. Unfortunately, the system informs him that while the antidote had initially been effective, the venom is not completely neutralized. Chen Feng realizes they need to move quickly. He understands that he should not panic, as the risks grow greater the deeper they venture into the forest, so he feels the need to stay vigilant. And as if on cue, a giant rat appears to attack. It inadvertently runs into Lang Qian's fist as she is doing some warm-up exercises while walking. She knocks the rat down unintentionally and doesn't even realize what she has hit. The rat, probably regretting all its life choices, never sees it coming. Since nothing else follows, Lang Qian assumes it was nothing and they continue their journey. Coincidences start becoming a pattern. Each time another monster approaches, she accidentally knocks it out while doing her warm-up exercises, completely oblivious to their presence. To her, these creatures are as insignificant as lint on her workout clothes. The monsters, on the other hand, probably consider joining a union for better working conditions. This continues for a while, allowing the group to eventually arrive at their destination smoothly. Chen Feng investigates his surroundings and notices that the equipment and patrols at this camp are few compared to those in the North Zone. General Lang overhears his thoughts but isn't offended. Instead, he enlightens him on why that is, probably thinking the boy could use a bit of education to complement his sense of observation. General Lang explains that the northern region is the most dangerous war zone with extremely high risks and heavy responsibilities. Therefore, the Alliance provides their soldiers with top-notch equipment to effectively face the demon beasts. However, this doesn't mean the soldiers here are any less capable. It's like comparing a high-end sports car to a reliable sedan. They both get the job done, just with different levels of flair. With this realization, Chen Feng decides to be more cautious about voicing his opinions and falls silent. General Lang warmly welcomes his honored guest, Su Nian, and after formal greetings, he invites them to rest in a tent. They appreciate the hospitality after their arduous journey. Entering the tent, General Lang apologizes for the accommodations not being as plush as those in the Alliance City, perhaps hinting that they might encounter a few more bumps in their beds than expected. However, Su Nian finds it impressive that such a comfortable campsite has been built in the center of a forest. General Lang is pleased by Su Nian's charming words. He reflects aloud that no wonder General Su Li holds her in such high regard and set this trial as a necessary step. Su Nian expresses her awareness of this fact, acknowledging her father's ambitious plans. She adds that experiencing this opportunity firsthand is a blessing for her, and she is determined never to complain about it. General Lang nods in agreement, though deep down he wishes he could convey the same sentiment to his own daughter. Lang Qian, sensing her father's tone, knows she's in for an unskippable lecture. To avoid a public spectacle, she takes the initiative, urging her dad to discuss matters privately outside. The general respects her decision, recognizing it's for the best. After all, embarrassing family lectures are best delivered away from prying ears, especially when the topic is as thrilling as military logistics. Now that Su Nian and Chen Feng are alone in the tent, Su Nian takes something from her pocket, a black rock crystal, an extremely rare stone from the earth and rock deposits, essential for the evolution of the spirit turtle. She hands the crystal to Chen Feng, believing he'll need it. While Little Turtle needs to advance to the ferocious level before he can use the crystal, Chen Feng still hesitates to accept such an expensive item. It's a bit like being offered a rare gem when all he really needs is a good luck charm, hard to refuse but equally hard to accept. Sugnayan insists, pointing out that Chen Feng has saved her twice, and this is the least she can do. She asks if he wouldn't agree that her life is worth more than the stone. With that reasoning, Chen Feng can't refuse, so he accepts the gift, making Su Nian happy. With her mission accomplished, Su Nian then asks what Chen Feng plans to do next, if he is thinking about going back or staying with her. It seems like Su Nian's curiosity about Chen Feng's next move is as strong as her gratitude. Su Nian admits to feeling a bit anxious about the training but believes everything will go smoothly with Chen Feng by her side. She offers to talk to her uncle, General Lang, if he wants to stay, giving Chen Feng the chance to get close to such a noble lineage. But Chen Feng, being a man of sheer will and determination, declines her offer. He has matters of his own to deal with, proving that while the allure of nobility is tempting, he's got his own path to follow. But there is one thing Chen Feng can promise her. If he decides to join the military in the future, he will let her know. He hopes that when that time comes, she won't pretend not to know him. Su Nian understands, though she's not thrilled with his decision. She still wishes him success in advance. As Chen Feng stands up, Su Nian looks at him intently, admiring his undaunted will. He has faced waves of terrifying monsters head-on without hesitation to save his friends, and that kind of bravery doesn't go unnoticed. Su Nian knows that even with her rigorous training, she feels she can't quite measure up to Chen Feng. This only makes her want Chen Feng to stay with her even more. Unexpectedly, as Chen Feng is heading toward the exit, he encounters General Lang, who is sporting a very angry expression. Seeing Lang Qian sulking nearby suggests their conversation didn't end on a high note. However, General Lang isn't angry with Chen Feng. In fact, he's quite grateful, as Lang Qian has informed him that Chen Feng is the reason they arrived so quickly. Out of respect, General Lang wants to know his name. Chen Feng honors the request, introducing himself by name rather than his code name. Although it's a privilege to chat with a general, he admits he can't stay long as he wants to leave the forest while the sun is still out. General Lang understands and lets him go. It's a bit like being let off the hook by a teacher when you need to rush out to catch the bus. It's all about timing. As he leaves, General Lang turns to Su Nian and asks her about Chen Feng's power. Su Nian answers truthfully, explaining that despite having what might seem like an ornamental pet, Chen Feng successfully defeated a ferocious grade snake demon. She confidently asserts that Chen Feng is indeed exceptional. Hearing this, General Lang is truly impressed. Defeating a ferocious grade beast is one thing, but doing so while being two major realms below in power is almost unheard of. It's a testament to Chen Feng's amazing and terrifying combat abilities. Even Lang Qian is shocked to see her father hold Chen Feng in such high regard, something she hasn't witnessed firsthand. Meanwhile, Chen Feng leaves the tent without looking back with only one thing on his mind. He needs to become stronger no matter what. With this determined mindset, he challenges every monster he encounters. Whether it's a horde of enormous blood moles attacking him relentlessly from all sides, the tyrant beasts of the skies launching sneak attacks, or the seemingly endless swarm of large rats, Chen Feng faces them all head-on. It's like he's on a quest for self-improvement, and every monster he encounters is just another step on his training regimen. Talk about going the extra mile to a whole new level. He meets every challenge halfway without even flinching. So focused on increasing his experience points, he forgets all about the toxins in his body. By the end of the day, he has defeated 40 monsters. While his advancement might be slow, his hard work pays off. He's made it halfway through his defense training. With that, Chen Feng decides it's time to call it a day. He gathers all the monsters he's defeated into his magic bag, knowing they can fetch a good price. As night approaches, he realizes it's best to leave quickly since the area becomes more dangerous after dark. So Chen Feng makes his way back through the gates, heading out with the kind of urgency that says he's not sticking around for any midnight monster parties. A few moments later, Chen Feng arrives at his apartment. Just as he's about to sleep, he remembers the monsters he collected. Given the sheer number of them, he makes a mental note to sell them right away. After all, he doesn't want his magic bag to start smelling like a monster's secret recipe gone wrong. After that, Chen Feng remembers the toxins still lingering in his body. He promptly asks the system for an update on his toxin resistance upgrade. The system reveals that he is almost halfway to having his bloodstream fully covered with poison. However, his poison resistance is already at 89%, which is a significant advantage. With such high resistance, the toxins barely affect him, making him feel like he's got a built-in do not disturb sign for poison. Delighted, Chen Feng realizes he only needs 11 more points to reach the first stage of poison resistance. Confident that this goal is within reach, he's not worried about the poison overpowering him. Deciding to do nothing about it, he simply lies on his bed. Speaking of abilities, he recalls that last time he gained a defense ability after enduring 100 physical attacks. He wonders what benefits completing the toxin resistance training will bring, and if he will gain another resistance skill or become immune to any poison. Excited by the possibilities, Chen Feng drifts off to sleep. The next day arrives and Chen Feng wakes up feeling refreshed and well. He decides to head straight to the Adventurers Association. As usual, the place is bustling with activity, with everyone going about their business. But the atmosphere shifts dramatically when they spot the level 6 guy from before, the one who had foolishly taken on a D-rank mission and returned. Surprisingly, he seems perfectly fine, as if nothing had happened. This leads everyone to assume he hasn't completed his mission yet. Meanwhile, the receptionist Nana warmly welcomes Chen Feng, clearly delighted to see him again. She offers her assistance, asking if there's anything she can help with. Chen Feng pulls out his emblem and reveals that he's there to confirm the completion of his task and claim his reward. This announcement immediately shocks everyone. They had already decided it was impossible for a level 6 newbie to complete a D-rank task, so many assume he's just bragging, causing a stir in the place. With curiosity running high, Nana heads off to confirm his claim. Just as Chen Feng had said, he really did complete the mission. This revelation makes her delighted. Turns out, Chen Feng isn't just another tale of exaggeration, but a genuine hero in the making. Nana informs Chen Feng that he can now claim his rewards. Alternatively, if he prefers, the Adventurers Association can ensure his earnings, though this option comes with additional costs. Furthermore, since he has completed a task higher than his current level, guild policy allows him to advance to the rank of D-rank adventurer. However, it's not mandatory, so Chen Feng could choose to stay at his current rank if he wanted. However, higher ranks come with greater benefits, which quickly convinces him to go for the promotion. With that settled, Chen Feng mentions he needs help with one more thing: selling some monster corpses. Nana expects this to be a simple process and agrees to assist him. As Chen Feng opens his magic bag, a large quantity of monster carcasses of various sizes and species spills out, shocking everyone in the association. Even Nana is taken aback by the sight. On the other hand, Chen Feng remains calm and collected, apologizing for the mess. Nana, however, is too intrigued to care about the mess. Her mind is consumed with curiosity, wondering how Chen Feng managed to defeat so many monsters in just one day, especially the ferocious giant snake among them. Everyone in the room shares Nana's amazement, but Chen Feng doesn't have all day to wait for them to piece things together. He quickly asks Nana for the total value of the monsters and his reward, and also inquires about the association's insurance situation. Before Nana can fully process the request, she snaps back to reality and gets to work. It's like he's pulling her back from a daydream and straight into the paperwork. Time to get down to business. After she finishes, Nana informs Chen Feng that he will receive a total of 800,000 Alliance coins for the monsters, plus the rock beast horn that was promised by the employer for completing the mission. As for the insurance, she explains that it's a standard practice for storing money or quest rewards. The cost varies based on his level and the value of the items, but with insurance, his belongings will be completely safe, and the Adventurer Association will compensate him for any losses. Considering his current level, Nana explains that the storage fee is 2,000 Alliance coins for 1 year and 10,000 Alliance coins for a 10-year package. With this information, Chen Feng concludes it's best to let the association handle the rock beast horn he's just received. He asks them to store it for a year, and the remaining coins are transferred to his bank account. The transaction is completed quickly, and Chen Feng verifies on his phone that the funds have indeed been transferred. With this sorted, he thanks Nana for her kind assistance and proceeds to leave the Adventurer Association. Despite Chen Feng's impressive feat and the undeniable proof of his accomplishments, a few salty folks at the association can't resist throwing shade. They loudly voice their doubts, attributing his success to mere luck. They even go as far as to speculate that reaching D rank won't change a thing, and that no party will accept him and his pet, because apparently they believe he's destined to remain a solo act, like a lone wolf with a tiny turtle sidekick. Chen Feng isn't bothered by their comments. He shrugs off their doubts like a turtle shedding water off its shell. Nothing sticks when you're on a mission with a determined shellmate. He knows their opinions don't matter to him. Only those who are truly powerful have the right to dictate what should and shouldn't be. So he continues his adventure with only his pet by his side. It's a tough path, but he's determined to walk it without looking back. Chen Feng returns to his apartment, feeling both accomplished and exhausted. He summons his little turtle from his pocket accessory, watching fondly as his pet turtle continues to nap peacefully. Little turtle has been through a lot, so Chen Feng decides not to disturb him, allowing the little creature to rest and recharge. He looks at him, thinking that even turtles need a power nap after saving the world. Chen Feng starts to strategize his next steps for improvement. He ponders deeply and concludes that focusing on pure defensive evolution seems the most logical, as turtle spirit pets are known for their defensive prowess and rarely develop attack skills. By honing little turtles' defensive capabilities and focusing on what they are naturally good at, they could easily reach their peak potential and maximize their skills' potency. After all, a turtle trying to be a lion is just a turtle with an identity crisis. Additionally, he theorizes that as little turtle's other skills improve, his counterattack abilities might also see significant enhancement. With the necessary materials for little turtle's evolution now in hand, it seems best to focus on the rock turtle evolution path and reach the bronze level first. This path is reputed for its robust defensive attributes, which align perfectly with their goals. However, before proceeding, he realizes he needs more information about the black rock crystal he had received. The crystal is said to be crucial for the evolution, but he wants to understand its properties better. After all, using a mysterious crystal without knowing its properties is like trying to bake a cake with unknown ingredients. You might end up with a masterpiece or a mess. As he holds the crystal in front of Little Turtle, he unintentionally wakes it from its slumber. Surprisingly, Little Turtle is immediately drawn to its glow. Seeing his pet's reaction, Chen Feng wonders why it suddenly got interested in it. The more he looks at his pet, the more curious he becomes, especially as the turtle starts to show crackhead behavior, attempting to nibble a chunk out of the rock. Chen Feng can feel Little Turtle's desire for this crystal, which makes him raise an eyebrow. This is unusual because in general, pets do not exhibit such strong reactions to evolution materials, as their evolution is controlled by their owners rather than by themselves. But if that's the case, he wonders why is his turtle acting so obsessed with this crystal. It's even tweaking as he confiscates the rock from it. The turtle continues to reach for the rock, making soft noises of protest. While Chen Feng can't shake off the feeling that there's something significant about this crystal that he doesn't yet understand, he wonders why Little Turtle is so drawn to it and what properties the crystal possesses that elicit such a strong reaction. Realizing he needs answers, Chen Feng thinks of Su Nian, the one who gave him the crystal. She might have more knowledge about its origins and properties. Just as he is about to contact her, he remembers with a sinking feeling that he hadn't asked for her contact information. Frustration washes over him. There was a foolish oversight on his part. He sighs, thinking that sometimes he's as forgetful as a goldfish with a to-do list. Still, this setback won't stop Chen Feng. Deep down, he feels that his little turtle might have a special bloodline or unique trait, and the black rock crystal in his possession could be the key to unlocking that hidden power. Driven by this thought, he decides to take his pet to the Alliance Pet Hospital for a thorough examination. After all, when life hands you a mysterious crystal and a hyper turtle, it's best to consult the experts, because Googling turtle acting weird with rock only gets you so far. Upon arriving at the hospital, Chen Feng hands Little Turtle to an expert for a detailed analysis. The examination room is filled with advanced equipment, and Little Turtle is placed in a high-tech device that suspends him in midair. The laser-like mechanism of the device seeps through every fiber of Little Turtle's being, enabling the experts to gather comprehensive data. Chen Feng watches anxiously as the examination proceeds, hoping the results will confirm his suspicions about Little Turtle's potential. After a few tense moments, the experts conclude their analysis and report back to him. They confirm that his pet is perfectly healthy, but unfortunately, Little Turtle is still classified as an ornamental-grade beast. As if that wasn't enough, the doctor hands Chen Feng a detailed report generated by the machine. Chen Feng sighs, feeling a bit deflated. It seems his turtle is more of a pretty decoration than a mighty warrior, at least for now. Chen Feng eagerly scans through the information, looking for any hint of uniqueness. However, as the doctor had stated, Little Turtle appears quite ordinary. There are no signs of special ancestry or unique characteristics. The only faint glimmer of hope is a minuscule percentage indicating the possibility of an unknown attribute. Chen Feng can't help but feel a bit disappointed. It seems he had been overly optimistic, hoping for a breakthrough that would explain Little Turtle's unusual behavior towards the black rock crystal. Sometimes, turtles just like shiny things, even if they're not destined for superhero status. As his hopes dim, he reminds himself of what truly matters: Little Turtle's health and well-being. Regardless of lineage or innate traits, he believes that with hard work, dedication, and a little bit of help from the system, they can achieve extraordinary things together. Leaving the Alliance Pet Hospital, he's fueled by determination, just as he arrived. A few moments later, Chen Feng returns to his apartment, determined to find information about the black crystal in the association system. He searches diligently, but no matter how hard he tries, he either finds nothing or is denied access to the relevant data. This is extremely frustrating, but he refuses to give up. There is something undeniably special about this crystal. Based on its appearance alone, the fact that Su-man's father, a man with a keen eye for valuables, gave away this peculiar-looking crystal so easily is intriguing. Chen Feng scratches his head, wondering if this crystal is a hidden gem or just a fancy paperweight. Furthermore, the lack of information in the association system makes the crystal even more mysterious. With all these factors in mind, Chen Feng considers two possibilities. Either this black crystal is so precious that it was beyond General Su Li's recognition, or it was of almost no value to him, which is why he gave it to Su Nian, who then passed it on to him. But with the limited information he has, it's impossible to determine the true nature of the crystal. It seems he can only continue his investigation after gathering more information about Little Turtle's evolution. And so he does just that, determined to uncover the secrets hidden within both the crystal and his beloved pet. Luckily, he finds a related article. According to the article, aside from the obvious item, the rock crystal, they needed a combination of self-healing ability, defensive ability, and a specific wood attribute elixir. These elixirs were crucial as they could unlock the potential of pets. For Little Turtle's evolution, he needed two kinds of elixir. The first was the ice crystal plant, a wood-type elixir that could enhance Little Turtle's self-healing and defensive capabilities. Its price ranged between 7 million to 10 million alliance coins. The second elixir was the Gujing Vine, another wood-type elixir that not only enhanced self-healing abilities but also imparted toxin resistance. This elixir was much more expensive, with prices ranging from 80 million to 300 million alliance coins. Based on these requirements, Chen Feng calculates that he needs at least 100 million alliance coins to acquire these items. He laughs sarcastically, realizing he would have to sell his soul to the grind just to accumulate such an enormous amount. After all, saving up for turtle juice shouldn't be harder than climbing a mountain barefoot. It's like the universe wants him to really earn those elixirs. But price aside, these plants are extremely rare and their owners usually don't sell them through the Adventurers Guild. This means Chen Feng will likely have to find them himself. But first things first, he needs to access the Adventurers Association's elixir database to find sellers of these items. He also needs to gather some info on where to locate these elusive plants. It's like trying to find a needle in a haystack. Only the needle costs as much as a private island and the haystack is guarded by dragons. Unfortunately, things don't go as smoothly as Chen Feng had hoped. Even after 3 days of relentless searching, he still hasn't found anything satisfactory. This only adds to his frustration, but his determination is not in vain. Eventually, it leads him to an article about a rare material discovered after the recent beast tide in the Northern District, which immediately catches Chen Feng's interest. It's like stumbling upon buried treasure in his sandbox, except this treasure might just save his turtle's evolution plans. The post details the discovery of a snow jade lotus, an item so rare that many believe it to be legend. However, legitimate researchers say otherwise as they obtained one by sheer luck in the past. The creation of this lotus requires very specific conditions, which are nearly impossible to replicate. But after the recent beast wave, those conditions have been met. Researchers noticed an elemental reaction in the vicinity, leading them to believe that the snow jade lotus had formed in the heart of the Northern District. This snow jade lotus is incredibly valuable, possessing ice, wood, and water attributes. Even its self-healing abilities are so potent that it could restore severed limbs instantly. It's like finding a Swiss Army knife in a pile of old tools. It's not just useful, it's practically miraculous. It is considered an ultimate-grade material far superior to the ordinary-grade rock horn Chen Feng currently possesses. If he could find this snow jade lotus, it would greatly enhance Little Turtle's ability to heal. Combined with his absolute defense, the effects would be astounding. However, finding this lotus requires venturing into the Northern Zone, a dangerous endeavor. Chen Feng knows he needs to form a team to avoid the perils he faced last time. It's like planning a heist with turtles and treasures, except the treasure could also bite back. With this in mind, he heads to the Adventurers Association to check the mission board for tasks that require entering the Northern District. As expected, all these missions are rated B or A, necessitating a team, a perfect setup for Chen Feng. Now he just needs to find who is applying for these missions to form his team. Luckily for him, he doesn't have to search that hard, as he overhears a conversation on the other side of the hall involving the man with the black robe, the same guy who had been drinking nearby when he first joined. Black Robe seems to be inviting a few people to participate in a B-level mission in the Northern District. This immediately shocks everyone as they feel it's above their capabilities. They know it would be impossible for them to handle such a task. Still, as adventurers, they can't simply decline without hearing more about the rewards and details. Maybe, just maybe, it will turn out to be an easy task. So they ask Black Robe to explain further. It's like signing up for a game show without knowing if the grand prize is a vacation or a lifetime supply of turtle food. Either way, it's a gamble worth taking. Black Robe explains that this isn't an ordinary B-level mission, it was issued by the military itself. The rewards are substantial, including a significant number of association points, a currency that allows trainers to buy rare and powerful items, unlike the common ones circulated among low-level trainers, which can only buy basic potions and items. This is a tempting reward indeed. It's like winning the lottery for adventurers, only instead of cash, it's a shopping spree for magic turtle elixirs and legendary weapons. But the group knows it's impossible for them. A task issued by the military wouldn't be easy like any other B-level missions. They even question if Black Robe is in his right mind. Despite the allure of association points, they know it would be pointless if they couldn't return alive. They're terrified of entering the Northern District, especially after the recent Beast Wave. And it's not like there aren't other missions to choose from. So why bother with this impossible one? It's like trying to juggle flaming swords. Sure, it's impressive if you pull it off, but the risk of getting burned isn't exactly worth the applause. With this in mind, they decide to back out. But even with this outcome, Black Robe perseveres, asking everyone in the association. However, the answers are always the same. No one wants to go on a military mission knowing it won't be easy. It seems like this mission is a lost cause, and even the bystanders think Black Robe is foolish for considering it. He's a reputable sea-level member, so he shouldn't be a pawn for the military, especially when they don't send their own people to handle the mission. These military officials must think adventurers are fools. It's like trying to recruit volunteers for a lava surfing contest. You might find a daredevil or two, but most people value their limbs too much to risk it. But Black Robe keeps trying, which catches Chen Feng's attention. He concludes that this guy must have a specific reason for taking on this task. With this in mind, Chen Feng decides to approach him when he's alone. Even though he's only a D-class adventurer, he has ways to convince the guy, like challenging him to a duel to prove his strength. Just as Chen Feng expected, with no one joining Black Robe's party, he leaves the Adventurers Association. Chen Feng follows closely behind, so close that Black Robe quickly notices. It's hard to ignore someone who's practically breathing down your neck after all. With this, Black Robe leads Chen Feng to a secluded area and quickly confronts him for being so bold. However, as both are members of the Adventurers Association, Black Robe decides to give Chen Feng a chance to explain himself before taking any drastic measures. Chen Feng doesn't beat around the bush and states that he wants to join Black Robe's team. Black Robe, however, isn't interested in letting a newbie join him and quickly dismisses this foolish idea. But Chen Feng remains persistent, recounting all of his achievements, including how he entered the Northern District and survived the Beast Tide. This only makes Black Robe laugh, as words are just words, and without proof, they carry no weight. It's clear that Black Robe isn't convinced and brushes off the newbie, believing this mission is far beyond Chen Feng's abilities. After all, anyone can claim they wrestled a bear, but where's the bear to back up the story? Chen Feng had anticipated this reaction, so just as planned, he challenges Black Robe to a duel. Luckily for Chen Feng, Black Robe is an open-minded person and doesn't take this challenge as an insult. Instead, he respects Chen Feng's determination. With this, he decides to give Chen Feng a chance, proposing that if Chen Feng can survive 3 attacks from him, he would consider letting him join his team. To Black Robe's surprise, Chen Feng seems unfazed by the condition, even questioning if Black Robe is sure about this challenge. Black Robe realizes he might need to teach this newbie a lesson in humility. Summoning his own spirit beast, a ferocious graded flame monkey, Black Robe prepares for the duel. Thanks to Chen Feng's level increased, he can now see the beast's characteristics, noting its high agility, hot temper, and powerful attacks. In response, Chen Feng summons Little Turtle, who looks ready to throw some serious shade. This sight, however, only makes Black Robe laugh, finding the idea of an ornamental pet standing against his flame monkey absurd. He suggests Chen Feng give up now to avoid hurting his cute little pet. It seems Black Robe hasn't heard of the old saying. It's not the size of the turtle in the fight, but the size of the fight in the turtle. Chen Feng, being a menace, doubles down with the insults, taunting Black Robe and calling him a coward for fearing his little pet. He even declares he will only use defensive skills as a handicap unless Black Robe is afraid of losing face. This provocation is super effective, as Black Robe and his flame monkey are now ready to attack, eager to shut Chen Feng up. The flame monkey charges, focusing all its energy into its fist and launching it at Chen Feng, probably thinking, who knew trash-talking turtles could be this infuriating? Chen Feng activates his absolute defense, successfully blocking the attack. Surprisingly, the flame monkey is immune to the stun debuff and continues its assault, giving Chen Feng that extra combo he ordered. Seeing the attack wasn't effective, Black Robe orders his pet to step back. Since Chen Feng seems to have some skills to back his yapping mouth, Black Robe decides to spice things up. After all, a bit of added challenge never hurt anyone. Except maybe the poor flame monkey, who now has to deal with an annoyingly resilient turtle and a cheeky adventurer. Meanwhile, Chen Feng's confidence grows as he believes he can outlast their attacks. feeling the flame monkey's strikes are weaker than those of the snow wolf he faced before. However, this complacency nearly cost him as the flame monkey moves with incredible speed, using some sort of insta-transmission to deliver a sudden fiery punch. Chen Feng manages to block it with his shield, showing them he means business. Black Robe realizes that the turtle's got some bite to go with its shell. As the monkey steps away again, Chen Feng mocks them, demanding they show their real power because their previous attacks ain't cutting it. Personally, Black Robe can't let a newbie talk to him like that. And seeing that this trash-talking newbie has a great defense, Black Robe feels he doesn't have to hold back anymore. With this, he commands his flame monkey to use their special attack, the exploding punch, a powerful skill that sacrifices the pet's own defense as it concentrates all its energy into one devastating blow ready to be unleashed. It's like bringing a nuke to a playground scuffle. Observing the energy fluctuations, Chen Feng knows he's in for a ride. He clenches his cheeks and solidifies his stance, preparing for what's coming. Just as he expected, the attack is so powerful that it releases a massive pillar of explosion visible from miles away, catching everyone off guard. Fighting inside the walls is prohibited, so the two adventurers are definitely in for some trouble now. It's a good thing explosions are universally recognized as oopsies. I hope that you liked today's video, and if you did, hit that like button as today's goal is 1,500 likes. Comment part 3 down below for the next part. Also, consider subscribing with the notification bell on to get notified as soon as a new video drops onto the channel. You can also join the channel to support me financially and watch videos before public release. I'll meet you in the next video. Until then, thanks for watching.